Welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. Today I got a quick project. Went over and measured up last night, and we're just building a battery box for a little four-wheeler. The original one was plastic and broke out of the whole thing, so we're gonna just make a new one out of metal. The owner gave me a big square of 1/8 inch, but I think that's overkill. I think we're just going to make it out of some 16 gauge. I could probably get away with 18 gauge just to make it a little lighter, easier to bend, but I've got the 16 gauge here and I don't have any 18 gauge, so we're going to make it out of that. And we're just going to draw it up on the plasma table. You could easily do this by hand, you know, with shears, or, well, 16 gauge with shears would be a little rough, but you could do it on a bandsaw, you could do it with a cut-off wheel, whatever. I have a plasma table, so we're just going to use the plasma table to do the work. Okay, so my table is a Samson Plasma Cam 510, which is 5 foot by 10 foot, but I only use half of it, so I have, in my base plan, I have half of it marked off where I know if I don't go past that line, then I'm not going to be running my gantry into the ends of the rails and freak the machine out. So it's for a buddy of mine named Randy, who you will have seen. We shortened his C10, and then later I brought the truck over to my shop and got the 4-link welded up. What else did I do? Oh, we put the fuel tank in it, that kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to draw this battery box out. We'll start by drawing the bottom of the box. 3 1/4 inches wide. So 1, 2, 3 1/4. There's our basic box. And it needs to have sides that will fold up 4 1/2 inches deep. And there's our box. Fold up. It's deeper, pretty much deeper than it is in any other. It's a little longer than it is deep, but just barely. Now to make that sit somewhere, we need flanges on each side so it'll sit on top of the frame rail. One side sits right on the frame rail, so it's off center, and the tube is about 3/4 inch tube, so we're going to come out here 1 inch. And then the other side is sitting, because it's off center, is sitting quite a ways away, which we have 4 5/8 inches between the frame rails. This box is 3 1/4 inches wide. It's 1 3/8 inch to the frame rail plus the lip. So 2 3/8, 1 inch for the tube, and 1 3/8 for the distance. There we go. So that will fold, be a lip. That'll fold, be a lip. And then this will fold up, this will fold up. Now we need a place to mount the strap for the battery. So we're going to put a little tab out here on this. And we'll just put it just off of center. Come just off of center with that. And we'll copy that. Weld the nut on the back side of that, because you always want to do a little advertising. So let's save our drawing, and we can import our logo. And when that folds up, you'll see at the bottom. Alright, let's take it over and clean up the holes. There's not a lot of dross on the edges, but we'll knock off what little there is. And the rest we'll just have to kind of hand form. We'll just push it in. May have to put it over the edge of the table or a vise. Now if we'd have done this out of, say, the 1/8 inch plate that my buddy has, we wouldn't be able to really bend that by hand without cutting some reliefs in it, which we could have done on the table. But for now, we have a nice little battery box. Now this would have been a great project if you're doing this yourself to TIG weld it. You know, you could practice running your beads, you could go downhill, you could work uphill, basically level. But for me, this is going on, and look at that. All that work to get that in the right place, and I still put it on, put the logo on backwards. I just now saw that. Oh well. This is going on a kid's ATV, and will never get seen again, so we're going to grind the welds off, but that's why I MIG welded it instead of TIG welding. And that's why I'm not cutting that panel back out and making a new one to get my logo correct. That's just funny. All that thinking and I still got it wrong. That's what I get for thinking. Okay, the strap's pretty basic, simple. I cut it out on the table as well. I put this strap a little off center because the battery terminals are on this side, positive and negative here, so that just keeps them a little further away from their wiring. And that's it. The owner is going to, like I said, set that in there and just drill down through here into the frame, and then they're planning to pop rivet it in place. So, well, that's it for the battery box project. I have about an hour and 10 minutes into the whole project, not including driving over and, you know, BSing with my buddy while we measured for 5 minutes. Super simple project. Could easily be done with a cutoff wheel or a bandsaw and any kind of brake. The box brake makes it a little easier because the fingers reach down in a little bit deeper, but you could do it with a vise. You could do all the sides separate. Just have one more weld across the bottom all the way around. You'd still have a box, it would still be completely functional. And you could probably do it just with two. You could leave two of the sides on it, put that in a vise, hammer those over, and then the other two sides weld those on. So you could, two more seams welded up. Now, just as a curiosity, if you were going to try and charge somebody for having made this, one, you'd want to fix your logo. Two, I've got it, like I said, I've got about an hour and 10 minutes into it, including drawing it, moving the camera, everything. So let's call it an hour because I'm moving the camera, turning it on and off, focusing, all that. So we'll call it an hour invested. My shop rate's $70 an hour. When I turn on a welder, the rate goes up. When I start the plasma table, the rate goes up. But if you take welder time and or plasma table time, it averages to about $100 an hour for labor and the equipment. So you'd have, this battery box would be $100. You can probably find a plastic replacement online for that little four-wheeler for $20, $15, $30, I don't know. wouldn't be $100. So that's the problem with trying to produce a product like this, unless it's just not available outside, you know, coming over on a shipping container from China. It's hard to get ahead of the cost in time to produce this. You know, if I was going to make 3 more of them, sure, the next ones you could average out your time on the plasma table, and you saw how fast it cut. You know, you could average it all out and get them down to probably under 30 minutes, but it's still a $50 battery box at that point. So, and that's, you know, honestly not counting the material. I used a scrap that I had, but material's gone up, so you really need another, you know, almost $20 in material to offset the cost of buying more. So $120 box, or get online, find it plastic for substantially cheaper. Now, in this case, my buddy was able to tell me, I want to use this battery, this is how big an area we have, and we were able to custom make it for his purpose, but not necessary, not particularly necessary in most cases. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all the other YouTube stuff, and we'll see you again next time on Allison Customs Project Car TV.